Lockdown lifted on SUU campus amid reports of a suspicious phone call. Officials optimistic about Panguitch Lake Dam mitigation efforts. A man rolls truck towing an oversized load and crashes through a fence near Dixie Rock.
You're watching St. George News at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. Early Thursday afternoon, nearly 4 hours after an unspecified phone threat prompted a lockdown of all Southern Utah University facilities, university officials announced that all campus areas and buildings had been searched and cleared by law enforcement personnel. Here's Jeff Richards with more on the story.
Students and staff at Southern Utah University in Cedar City sheltered in place during a 4-hour campus-wide lockdown on Thursday. Police said the situation began when a suspicious phone call was received by the university's police dispatch around 9:20 a.m. Multiple emergency alerts were sent out as officers from various agencies investigated and worked to clear the various buildings. Police later said that no shots were fired and nobody was injured. Also, no arrests have been made and no suspects have been identified. Police are still investigating the source of the phone call. All areas of campus were given the all-clear shortly after 1 p.m. Although classes and activities were canceled for the rest of the day on Thursday, they're expected to resume as usual on Friday.
Thanks, Jeff. State and local officials say ongoing mitigation efforts addressing issues with the Panguitch Lake Dam appear to be working thus far. Jeff Richards has more.
State and local officials say that efforts to mitigate the issues with the Panguitch Lake Dam appear to be working. Wednesday, workers used an excavator to move fill material to help shore up the downstream side of the dam. Then, on the lake side, trenches were cut across the ice to help alleviate some of the pressure pushing against the top of the dam. Additionally, by releasing the water flows into Panguitch Creek, the lake's level has dropped by 6 inches over the past 2 days. On Wednesday night, an estimated crowd of more than 300 people gathered at Panguitch High School for an hour-long town hall meeting.
I can assure you that the state of Utah stands behind the efforts of what your community is going through.
Although State Route 143 between town and the lake remains closed for now, that decision is expected to be reevaluated soon, officials said.
Thanks again, Jeff. On Thursday, shortly after 6 p.m., a man rolled his vehicle while towing an oversized load just north of Dixie Rock. Here's Alicia Lundgren with more details.
Thursday evening, a man was traveling south on Red Hills Parkway in a Ford Explorer, towing an oversized load when police say he lost control of the vehicle and rolled down a hillside. He was transported to the hospital in a personal vehicle for a medical evaluation. The vehicle was pulled uphill by a heavy rescue truck so it could be towed from the scene.
Thanks, Alicia. On Thursday, 47-year-old Tracy Sandoval appeared for sentencing on multiple charges that stemmed from a 3-vehicle crash reported on June 30th, 2023 in Washington City. Here's Cody Blowers with the story.
On Thursday, Tracy Sandoval, 47, appeared in 5th District Court for sentencing on multiple charges, including a second-degree felony charge of negligently operating a motor vehicle resulting in death. The case was filed following a crash reported in Washington City on June 30th of 2023. A crash that killed 7-year-old Aston James Butterfuss. Washington County Prosecutor Lane Wood described the moments after the crash.
I wanted to find my brother and my dad. I saw my brother. He was actively getting CPR, and they were working on getting him transported to the hospital.
Defense attorney Douglas Terry also addressed the court during the hearing.
And perhaps in some way be an impact for others.
I wish this would have never happened.
District Judge John J. Walton had this to say prior to sentencing the defendant to prison.
I am terribly sorry for the suffering of the victims and the suffering that unfortunately will continue. Mr. Sandoval, you made not just one bad decision on that day, but you made a series of bad decisions as have been described.
Sandoval was sentenced to serve 1 to 15 years in prison on the vehicle homicide charge, as well as 3 separate sentences of 0 to 5 years on the remaining charges.
Thanks, Cody. Standard & Poor's Global Ratings, also known as S&P, recently reviewed 2 bonds issued by the City of St. George and gave them high ratings that highlight the city's financial stability and ability to meet financial obligations. Here's Maury Kessler for more details on this announcement.
The city of St. George announced this week that Standard & Poor's Global Ratings, also known as the S&P, gave the city high ratings on 2 of the bonds it issued last year. The city's voter-approved general obligation bond to fund trails, parks, and recreation was given a AA+ rating, while a sales tax bond to fund the construction of the new city hall was upgraded to AAA status, which is the highest rating an organization can receive from the S&P. According to the S&P's reports, the high bond ratings reflect the city's financial stability and ability to pay its financial obligations and debts. The bond ratings can also enhance the city's credibility and reputation in financial markets, which can make it an increasingly attractive place for businesses to invest and operate, which can lead to the creation of new jobs and growth to the local economy.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5.